welcome to the show. My name is T, and we are talking scary movies. I appreciate you tuning in for this review. Keep in mind, every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'm going to have a new opinion piece, an interview, or some horror news for you to check out. This past Wednesday, I had Kendall Burden of the Terra Nova podcast on, and we got to chopping it up on the Alien franchise. But along with that, I am dropping countless reviews throughout the week on the latest in horror movies, TV shows, games, books, whatever I am checking out here. You don't want to miss any of that, and the best way to stay on top of everything I'm dropping on my channel is to get subscribed to my link tree. And you can do that by going to linktr.ee/T Scary Movie. If you get subscribed to my link tree, that's going to give you access to the YouTube page for the video versions of the show, to your favorite podcasting platforms for the audio-only version of the show, to my Letterboxd page for written reviews and movie rankings throughout the year, to my TikTok page for my short horror content, including movie news and movie premieres, to my Twitch page where you can catch all my horror gaming. This month, that includes The Thing for PlayStation 2 and Rewind or Die, and to my Fangoria shop page where you can enjoy my 20% off discount, anything in the Fangoria shop, including a yearly subscription to the physical magazine. Take advantage of that, folks. Hit that subscribe button, as the more followers I get, the more content I can put out for all of you. And not only that, you know we are always doing monthly giveaways. This month we're doing a giveaway for the little golden book of A is for Alien. So if you want a chance to win A is for Alien, all you gotta do is tell me in the comment section here on YouTube, what is your favorite Alien movie? That's it, folks. Go ahead and put something like that in the comment section. Get entered for a chance to win A is for Alien. Speaking of, I told you I had my interview this past week with Kendall Burden. We have the prize of A is for Alien. Folks, it is finally time. Tonight on the show, we are talking Alien Romulus. The latest film in the long-running Alien franchise is finally out. I got a chance to see it, and we are here to go over all of the juicy details. Now, I do want to caution you about this here first. At the very end of this review, because this is going to be mostly spoiler-free here, but at the very end, I am going to discuss that one spoiler in reference to that one specific character. If you've seen the film, you probably have an idea of that one character that I am talking about. I feel I can't really do this review without addressing that, but I don't want to do it at the beginning of it for any of y'all who are trying to actually hear my thoughts on the movie and don't want to be spoiled, so I'm going to save it to the end. I'll let you know when to tune out for that, folks, okay? But this is going to be spoiler free, so let's jump on into things here. If you haven't seen the trailer for Alien Romulus yet, this tells the story of siblings Rain and Andy, who are looking for a way off the desolate planet they live on that's owned by Weyland-Yutani. They're given this great opportunity by some old friends of theirs to go and raid a derelict spaceship nearby to give them the supplies they need for a journey to a brand new planet. But once they're aboard this spaceship, they find out that the experiments going on board will pose a serious risk to not only them making it to this new planet, but for staying alive. That is Alien Romulus, folks. Now, the one thing I'll start off here by saying is that Romulus continues on the great tradition that we've had over these Alien films of focusing on these ragtag families who aren't always perfect, but either way, these families end up together going and exploring a location that has to do with xenomorphs, and unfortunately, the xenomorphs will break out, do what they're going to do, and this family will have to slowly start banding together more and more and more if they're going to survive the ordeal. That's honestly the story of the Alien franchise as you watch your way through it. Even Prometheus and Covenant both highlight those ideals as well too. So Romulus very much gets that story done very well. Kaylee Spaney and David Johnson are the anchors of this film, and folks, they are absolutely my favorite protagonists in an Alien film since Ripley. I think this pair does so well together. David Johnson especially as Andy, who's playing a synthetic, an android, and given this franchise's relationship to androids over the course of each film in it, obviously there's going to be some trepidation from us in the audience, and that's a lot of times put out in the character Bjorn, played by Spike Fern, who has a relationship to synthetics as well that's not so positive, and it keeps him at odds with Andy throughout the film. And his thoughts, a lot of that is really like speaking for the audience, because we know what these androids are capable of. We know what they have done from time to time throughout these films, and even though Andy is he is literally given the directive of doing what's best for Rain, and Rain very much and very clearly cares for Andy as well, that doesn't change the fact that over the course of Romulus, a lot of things are going to happen that's really going to test that relationship between the two of them and find out whether or not, you know, you really can have this loving relationship with somebody who's technically not a real person. Now, I had spoke about it on the show not too long ago that I think that the running theme of the Alien franchise is that you're going to take these ragtag families and put them in these insane situations and see, do they break or do they grow even stronger in their bonds? It's something that Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Resurrection, Prometheus, and yes, even Covenant all highlight the best. Now, there's other things involved with that. I had also said in previous weeks that, you know, given that this film takes place smack dab between Alien and Aliens, there's only so much they can do with the plot because they have to make sure that they're not affecting too much of what comes after Romulus, because it's already set in stone. You can't really add that much more to it. And the film does a good job of offering us something new and not really giving us cause for concern about what's going to happen in the future. But I will say it does fundamentally reshape how you view Aliens. I don't see how you can watch Romulus and not see it through a different lens, especially when it comes to Weyland-Yutani. And we'll get to talking about Weyland-Yutani for sure, but that's one thing that I thought was so great about Romulus, is the fact that we don't have to worry about it wrecking anything or adding in a new curveball that wouldn't make any sense, but it still is powerful enough to change the outlook of one of the best films of all time. Now, when it comes to the aliens themselves, the xenomorph drones, the warriors, those have really been the standouts of this franchise for the last 4 decades, right? Like, all these films, that's what we're waiting to see, is for the alien to show up and start wreaking carnage. And of course, we have the Queen, we have different variations of the warriors and the drones, and of course we have like the face huggers and everything, but it's really that main class that gets focused on in all of these films. And while Romulus does give us that, and honestly, I thought that the xenomorphs in this one, the warriors, the drones, whatever you want to call them, I honestly love their designs in this more so than a lot of the last few films. Something very, very fluid about it, and I know that this movie uses a combination of CGI and great practical effects as well, and you can tell it looks amazing, y'all. Absolutely amazing here. But the standout of the film is definitely the face huggers. They have managed to make the face huggers truly terrifying. And while we do have face huggers in majority of the other films, Prometheus is really the one that we don't have it in, but the facehuggers in all the other films, they're kind of used very briefly, and while they're definitely terrifying, that fear is gone like that. It's super quick. And Romulus actually, I feel, does a better job at highlighting these things and how creepy they really are, and the way that they move, the way that they work, and the characters actually trying to scientifically figure out a way of getting it off somebody. I love the attention given to the facehuggers in this film. Makes them far more scary than the warriors and the drones, if you're asking me. And the other design to talk about, that last 15 minutes of the movie. Now, I'm not going to spoil which entries it combines, but I think, obviously, if you're a fan of the franchise and you've seen this film, you know the specific two that it's combining at that point. And I love the design, honestly. If you weren't a fan of one of those two films that it's combining in those last 15 minutes, then very obviously you are going to despise it. You're going to think it's silly. You're going to think it's like idiotic. I get that completely, but as a fan of every single Alien like entry, I thought it was super cool to see a design like that. It didn't really take away from like the creepiness at all, because if anything, it made it far more creepier than it could have been, looking like a traditional xenomorph design. But again, I know that's going to have its own detractors. Fede Alvarez crafts an incredibly scary film. I was very much surprised at the fact that we got legitimate jump scares out of it. I don't expect a lot of jump scares in Alien films, honestly. Like, again, they do a great job at being scary throughout the film, but typically they don't do much in the way of, oh, gotcha. And there's actually a few of those here. And obviously, Fede Alvarez has had a great opportunity to build that skill up, because whether it's Evil Dead, whether it's Don't Breathe, he has the experience to bring those fun jump scares, and bringing it to the world of Alien fits so well. It's a beautiful looking film, honestly. Again, I said they make great use of CGI and practical effects in it, folks. So that's one of the best things. It's probably one of the best looking Alien films that's out there. And what I really loved about it too, and this might be a very small factor to it, I really love the fact that at the beginning we got to spend so much time on this Weyland-Yutani owned planet, because we get glimpses of Weyland-Yutani throughout the franchise, but we don't really see what life is like living under them. It's always they're screwing us over, and that's how we know them. And of course, that's fine, and that happens, in this as well too, but we don't get to see what life truly is like living under their thumb. And I thought there was a great aspect to the script that we get to see. That's the reason why Rain and Andy desperately need to leave this planet, because we see to the extent that Weyland-Yutani really abuses the people that live at their outpost. And I love the fact that that finally got shown, because I feel Aliens is probably the most that we get to look into the way that they're ran. Prometheus gave us a little bit, but I honestly feel though the issue there is that Prometheus really sets up that the owner is probably the reason why the company is so fucking corrupt. Whereas without Prometheus, it's just one of those things to where it's like, okay, eventually it gets to that route. And we see that's just kind of the way that they've always been because of their owner. But either way, I love that we got to actually see the way that it is living under their thumb. Very cool aspect of the story for sure. And also, the nods to all of the other films are excellent. There's been a lot of chatter online about folks hating it, that it feels like fan service, that it feels like a fan film. I don't feel that way at all, though, because it's not like any of these nods were ones that take away from anything that's going on in the movie. There are some lines that have been reused from other films, but they're said in a different context, and they're said very differently. And people, I feel, are just holding on to things just to hold on to have something to nitpick about. They all add very well to the story, honestly. And I love the fact that Alvarez was able to pay homage to the 6 other Alien films and not make it feel like it's, I don't know, a bastardization of that. He connects them all really well as well too. I think a lot of folks are very much afraid that we wouldn't really get any kind of follow-up from like Prometheus and Covenant, and that this would really just be entrenched in the films that we grew up with. But folks, I will say that this movie really does bridge those two, like, not different universes, but it bridges those two timelines of what's happening in Prometheus and Covenant with what's happening in, again, the original franchise. Love that, because we weren't going to get that. Remember, after Covenant, Ridley Scott was supposed to be able to get 1 or 2 more films to finish connecting and bridging that story. And while does this firmly and perfectly bridge it up? No. But it does a really good job of it. I think that this might be the best case scenario for an Alien film that we could get if Ridley Scott wasn't going to be given the power to come back and do one more. This is the best that we're going to get, and I mean that in the best of ways, y'all. Not like, well, take what you can get. No, this really is a phenomenal film, y'all. It is 3rd in my ranking of the Alien franchise. That's how great I think it honestly is. Go check it out for yourself. And again, let me know in the comment section what your favorite Alien movie is for a chance to win a copy of A is for Alien. But now I want to talk about that one spoiler that I mentioned I wasn't going to do at the beginning of the show. So tune out if you don't want a big element spoiled before you get a chance to go and see Romulus. So, Ian Holm. Ian Holm's likeness is used in Romulus for Science Officer Rook. He is not playing Ash, and there has been, again, a lot of chatter online about this, about the ethics of it. Now, I don't know what the Holm estate agreed to or not. If they didn't agree to this, then damn them to hell for them using this in this film. But if they did agree to it and they're cool with that, with this being done, honestly, I was a big fan of it. Because I get the idea that if Rook looked like any other android, the story would still be fine. The story would still continue. There wouldn't be so much mystery, because the movie does a very purposeful job of, when they first come across Rook's corpse turned over. You don't see who it is. You literally can't find out, even though we know, if you've seen Alien, you know who that is and who that is going to end up being. The thing is that all goes away if it ends up being a different android. That's fine. Doesn't really take away from the film. All the plot points that happen with Rook, again, that's fine if it's somebody else. It can be anyone else. But the whole idea of it looking like Ian Holm is, one, to show just how often they reuse faces for these synthetics, because how often was Lance Henriksen playing somebody like Charles Whalen or Bishop or whatever, and he was the model, kind of like Terminators, they all can't look like Arnold, right? But I think the whole thing about it is that it's for us franchise fans. The thing is that we know what he looks like before we actually see his face. And when we do see his face, that is supposed to remind us that this is a very untrustworthy character and that these characters are likely about to get screwed. That is very much the point of this character showing up. It is a nod to all of us. I don't think that should be punished. I don't think that's stupid at all. It's an Easter egg. It's an Easter egg for fans. Now, if you don't like it, I can't do anything about that, obviously, and I get it. You got to have what you're going to stand for at that point. And I think a lot of what my opinion on it would really depend on what the estate has authorized here for this film. But I did like it, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That's it tonight, though. I appreciate you tuning in. Hit that subscribe button because I'm going to have reviews coming out here soon for Prometheus and for the original Alien. But folks, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.
Here is a big fan of Fangoria. So, if you want to check out the world's best horror magazine that's out there, get a chance to get yourself your own subscription, which I just got my first one back in 2022, and I don't regret it for a second. But if you want your own Fangoria subscription, or you like the Fangoria merchandise, then head over to the Fangoria shop and use my link if you want to save yourself some money, folks. That's an easy one to remember. Just go to shop.fangoria.com/axdew. Again, that's shop.fangoria.com/axdew, or use my specific code AXDEW at checkout. You can save 20% off your entire order, and that implies 2 subscription and one-time orders as well. You don't want to miss out, folks, because with the magnitude of horror movies we've had released in the last few years, and with what we have on the horizon, Fangoria is going to be your #1 source for all that great, juicy, bloody information in the world of horror. So again, head to shop.fangoria.com. Hey there, folks! Thanks for tuning in to T Watch This Scary Movie. I appreciate you checking out another review or movie news, whether we're talking movies, TV shows, books, or games, whatever, it's all scary. Remember, you can check out new episodes every Wednesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time on the YouTube page for video. That's youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. Again, youtube.com/C/Theron Reynolds Scary Movie. And you can check out the audio version on all your favorite podcasting platforms. Just search T Watch the Scary Movie or TWASM. Don't forget, my name is T. We've been talking scary movies. Stay scared.